and gentlemen and bouncy balls, welcome to EXFL Tier 1 Season 14 on the brand new, well I say brand new, it's been out for a month, F1 2026 Season DLC. I am your commentator and we are here around Albert Park for the well-named Adelaide Grand Prix, where we have 12 drivers currently racing, because if you didn't know, a certain phenomenon called the World Cup is going on. So a lot of drivers have decided to celebrate the World Cup occasion, and because a lot of the drivers are from the region known as Great Britain and Northern Ireland, they have celebrated the England win, where England went 1-0 down in the 7th minute and then clawed it back in the second half thanks to 2 goals from Harry Kane. Anyway, enough about the football. We start with one of the rookies here, Dark Blitz in the Visa Cash App Racing Bulls, starting his flying lap in the V-Cob, as I just said, down into turn 1. Obviously, there's a lot of things to look forward to this season. Mainly, you don't know who's going to be the quickest. You don't know how... some people might not know how the battery works around certain tracks. So, you know, it'll be very interesting to see which driver uses what sort of battery strategy. As Blitz goes through into the first sector split, he sets a 27.0. And also, I'm unable to tell you whether they're lifting or not, and I can base it off of sound only, because if you look on the dash for me, I don't have a clue how much pressure they're putting on their throttle or on their brakes, so it'll be a fun guessing game. As through the middle sector goes Dark Blitz. Now with 0% battery, so you know a lot of drivers will be lifting and coasting to try and make as much of their battery. As again, I can't tell if they're a medium, if they're a hot lap, or if they're a none. So for me, this is basically a bit useless. I'm basically going all off sound and the number on their dash. So through the final corner goes Dark Blitz to set the first lap of the season. Up to the line, it's a 1:18.6 for the V-Carb. Behind him was Will. Well, no, it was Oren actually. Why do I think that was Will? Oren goes faster, and Chris with a 1:21.5. However, he is on the intermediate tyres of Naris. Last season's end of game surprise, really. He goes fastest with a 1:17.0, 1.2 seconds quicker than his nearest competitor in the other Audi, who goes second, 1:17.1. 2 Audis straight from the get-go, showing decent speed around Albert Park, as Ferdy, otherwise known as Voizo, goes 4th on his first run. As more people will start to go across the line. Next person to cross the line will be Tassaras, another one of the GFOs, as he completes a GFO 123, as we just had Will cross the line with a 1:18.4. Behind him, Red Fire Tiger, now in the Ferrari, goes 4th with a 1:17.2, so he's currently the one who's able to catch with the Audis and the GFOs. As I say that, F1 Union in the Mercedes, who kicked Red Fire Tiger out of Ferrari, he goes fastest by 0.003 of a second, 1:17.0, so he's definitely put the pace up. Blitz up to the line again, he's starting his second flying lap. Behind him, I believe Oren might be starting another fast lap, as then I think everyone else on track is either hitting or going in. As you see, Naris is going again, he's got full battery. This Tassaras, I think, might be going again, although I don't think so. Stelios is in the pits. Red Fire Tiger might... So here we are, the first qualifying session of the season, and we basically can't base it off anything, can I? And I've just realised I haven't been promoting the stream. Just pop the stream back into so I can advertise. Everyone on circuit is currently returning, as Blitz on his lap seemed to not keep it valid. Here we go, he goes again, so just stick on board with him, because I think he's the only one on a proper run, unless Oren's on a run behind him. No, Oren's not on a run behind him. So I'm getting used to the colours. It seems like... Well, we'll come back to that. It seems like the Alpine have got the Mercedes colours. And Mercedes have... unless I'm just colourblind, as Chris is behind him. There we go. Stream has been promoted. I didn't realise Blitz's sector times, however, going off his dash, I can't even see anything on his dash, so once again it's purely a guessing game, as down into the final quarter, penultimate corner, he's a 110, so he might be slightly down. However, we'll check going into the line. He gained marginally. Is now Chris will start his lap as he had a few. He boasted about his Madrid record before they added a fun blockade to his favourite chicane. So he might be a little bit disappointed with that. As we need to go back to the thing I originally talked about. Naris whacks it ahead of Jaden with 116.8 as Chris. First sector, 26.8. Let's just compare that to the first sector of Naris, 26.7. So a tenth down on pole, but still probably would be a pretty decent improvement for the man from Northern Ireland, as more drivers seem to be doing their laps. Frankie in the Cadillac has invalidated Samuel Drake Lee coming up to the first sector split. Purple, according to the thing, but as we know, purple is can't be 26.9. Check if there's anyone coming across the line that might be interesting to look at. Will be starting his lap as Stelios fastest in the first sector. Apparently, I don't think that's correct, but if it is, then fair play. Chris went 6th in the end, 117.6, so pretty decent lap for him. Is there someone? Who is that other? Oh, it's Red Fire Tiger on his out lap. I'm a bit of an idiot. I'm not used to seeing him in another car. So Frankie up to the line. His banker is a 117.5. Obviously won't stand, but that will put him P6. Samuel Drake Lee pits. Sasaras is what I'm just going to call him because I'm special. Well, 27.0. A bit far off any sort of purple laps, but you do with what you got. 44.6. As Stelios makes an Audi 1-2 at the front. It's the Greek Dream up at the front right now, as the top two are separated by, if I can just get the telemetry, 1.5 tenths, so quite close at the front. Ferdy will not be able to improve, so he cuts the curb quite dramatically. As Will up to the line. What will he do with his lap? Ran out of battery way before, so he's going in F2 speeds. It's P7 for the Mercedes. It's quite a distance off P6. However, I think he'll be happy with that. Frankie once again invalidated. Not surprised. Will, I'll just scan his lap. So Chris will be going for another lap. Red just finished his lap, I think, with a 117.2. So he stays P5. I think Sasaras up to line. There's a yellow in sector 1, which might impact some people. Sasaras up to line is P2. So it's once again a Greek 1-2-3. Is Naris and Stelios are separated by the Haas driver. Jaden will start his next lap. Stelios pits, so we'll be on board with Jaden unless there's anyone else interested on lap. Red Fire Tiger, I think he's not been able to do anything on his lap. Behind him, Dark Blitz on an out lap. Will there? Chris is on a fast lap according to the game, purple middle sector. So we'll scope out his lap for the time being. As there's more yellows, as I think Blitz slowed down to let the Audi through. So Chris now into the penultimate section, loads up the battery, ready for the final corner. And through now, can he challenge the cars at the front? Can he separate any of the Greek GFO boys up to line? Chris stays 6th with a 10th and a half of improvement, so I don't think it's what we were expecting, but oh well. Jaden out of battery by after the S's, so this will be pretty much recharge central for him, unless he is trying to recharge and go for another lap, as Sasaras is in the pit lane. Jaden through the final corner, 16% battery, not very much according to the game today, is up to the line. He stays 4th with half a tenth's loss in his lap, so now he'll try and hurry to get back into the pit lane. You can see how little downforce these cars have by the fact he just bounced over the curb or over the grass. It shows how little there is, as I think Blitz is on a flyer, so we'll stick along with him. I literally have no idea if he's gaining or losing in these little middle sections, because I can't even see it on their dashboards. We'll see. Into the middle sector, he's 2 tenths up on his previous attempt. The V-Carb currently in P10, slowest of the drivers who have set laps, with 1,000th difference to the car ahead, down into turn 12, I think. I have no idea. I don't know the turn numbers. There's a penultimate corner. Battery, not a lot of battery for the final corner, so now up to the line. Where will Blitz go? He's already out of well, I've clearly missed that, but Blitz goes 7th, but Vnaris goes further up on pole, and he puts that Audi further and further up. It's like watching WEC in the late 2010s, because it's... Wait, no, that's... I've just fibbed. No, that was Toyota. Regardless, it's Audi domination at the top as of right now. Everyone on the track, I think, is on slow. Actually, no. Chris is marginally up, so we'll stick with him for his lap. But he is down in the middle sector. I'm just checking. Is there anyone else on the flyers, or is that all? No, that is all. So. As Celios will begin his final flyer, he's out of the pit lane. People are currently out on track will try and hope to be in and out as quickly as possible. As more and more people start to file out of the Australian pit lanes. Check. Maybe Oren I think just finished a lap. He stayed P9, I think, but he's not far off Will in retrospect. As I need to quickly double check something if people are doing what I think they're doing. No. Oren is up in the first sector, but marginally, so the battery might bite him in the arse when it comes to that. As you can hear the super clipping in that Alpine, in that Mercedes-powered Alpine, down into the Fast S. He is still up, but marginal gains in the middle sector, like 6,000 gain. I think we'll just follow his lap till the end, as I think Blitz will be boxing, and that was his final run, so it'll be P7 at best for the man in the V-Carb. Oren through the final corner, can he keep that 5/100th advantage, or is it gonna drop for this man right here? Up to the line for Oren. He goes P8, so he improved in the final sector, but it's still one place of improvement. now we will focus on the next person who's up to cross the line. I think the next person to cross the line will be Sasaras, but he's on starting a flying lap. Behind him is Red, who's also starting a flying lap. So this might get a bit interesting, you know, because depending on their battery strategies, one might overpower the other, and there might lead to one very disappointed driver by the end of this. As Red lifts very prematurely into turn 1 as there is yellows. Is that Chris? Chris is, did he spin? I don't know what happened, but something happened to Chris before or just after the fast S. As Red is getting very close to the car ahead. Is this harming his lap time or anything? No, he's still up. However, how is the lap of Sasaras going? He's down, so it might just be a case of Sasaras letting Red through as the first person to cross the line to finish their lap will be Will. But I think he's starting his lap now. So yeah, Samuel Drake Lee up to line. He goes P6, so just behind his Ferrari teammate. That went under the radar, if I may say so myself. Blitz up to line to start his flying lap. He has made it. Maybe by the skin of his teeth. Oren will start his lap next as there's more yellows. And now Samuel Drake Lee slowed down. I think he is done with qualifying for now. Red Fire Tiger and Sasaras will one affect the other. Sasaras is up in the middle sector. What about Red Fire Tiger? He could get an absolutely lovely tow here from the Haas up ahead. But I don't think it'll be the case. Sasaras stays P2. Red Fire Tiger improves but stays P5. As Jaden up to the line. He's got 30% battery. Can he improve? A bit of a loss in the middle sector according to the up sector. It's P4 for him. Ferdy up to line as I think. Oh, Will! But Boyzo goes P8, but Will spins out the fast S as Frankie up to line. Up to P6 for the Cadillac, and up next is one of the Audi. Shows what you got. Naris stays on pole without any improvement. Stelios cannot improve, and right now Chris stays 6th. So right now it's a straight shootout. Oren can't improve. Can Samuel Drake improve? No. So Oren can't improve. Will can't improve. Pole position round 1 goes to Naris, and for the first time we've got a 1-2-3 of the same league. So and that is it, I think. That was a interesting session. That is your qualifying for the first race of the season. The entire field spread by 1.5 seconds, which is already better than when I was there, because I would have brought that back down to like 3 seconds with my stupidly amazing pace last season. But I mean, we already know what the weather's gonna be, thanks to a bug with the absolutely amazing bug that is basically a battery lottery on this game when it comes to wet weather races, because it restricts some people to only none and medium battery mode, while some get the pleasure of using hot lap, which in the wet does feel like boost mode. So don't want to get the stream copyrighted. Let's not. We're waiting for, I believe, the formation. I don't think the rules regarding that have changed, but here's the strategy. The Greek boys at the front. 1, 2, 3, all on mediums. Everyone on mediums so far, apart from Blitz, who is the odd one out going on hards. I think that is the way it will stay. It is the formation lap, so there's the two strategies. If you can go bold with a 2-stop and hope your pace is able to counteract that, or you go 1-stop and care for all the tyres. The drivers, unless that is just a screen bug, everyone has underfueled. No, that is a genuine case. Everyone, according to this, in the top 8 has underfueled. With Will in P12 has also underfueled, according to this. People slowing down. I don't know what these shenanigans are, as Blitz is going to the back of the field for the formation lap. I don't know who you are, but you are not tough for this. So, anyway, these drivers making it to the field, I think 12 people, there shouldn't be that much I'm assuming that's like their one and sacred engineer for their race, so I guess leave them be. So here we go. Audi followed by a Haas, followed by an Audi. Now, I haven't mentioned this because I don't think it was that big of a deal. Current reigning champion, Mr. James Jones, isn't here. So we could potentially get a new or / returning championship leader, which, you know, it hasn't happened a lot, because I think last season the only people who have led the championship, give or take, have been JJ and Danny, who also isn't here, and I presume they're both not here because they went on the piss to watch the England game. And I mean, who cares if they went for the piss? They're adults, let them do what they want with the time. But anyway, that's regardless, doesn't care what happens. Here we go. 5 red lights for the Australian Grand Prix here in Melbourne. 1 red light, 2 red light, 3 red light, 4 red light, 5 red lights. And it's go. Here we go in Australia. As Naris gets a lovely start. And he's already ahead into turn 1 by a landslide. Stelios was able to overtake Sassaras into before turn 1 into P2. So currently the pack is led as an Audi 1-2 as Red Fire Tiger tries to pass the second Audi, who's currently acting like a bit of a cork in a bottle. A bit more losses. Sassaras drops to P5. Oren is able to gain on drops down the field as Simon Drake Lee re-overtakes Oren. Bit of a barging between him and the Alpine. Will into the gravel. Allows 30 to gain a place back. There's Blitz. What's happened to him? He's dropped 2 places. I don't see any damage on him, but I guess something must have happened. Anyway, no, I don't think there was any major collisions, but here we go. Might see a move here. Well, we do see a move from the Jaden camera as Stelios locks up into the corner. Red Fire Tiger gets past him, but Stelios is able to complete the switchback. These two are getting very close and personal, bit of contact. Red Fire Tiger was in P2 for a margin, and he's made a decent start from P5 into P2 as Chris and Sassaras are fighting. Chris tries to go around the outside. He uses boost mode, and he uses it to good avail because he's currently ahead of the guy who started in P2. As now down into turn 1, they both lift, and Chris does pull out ahead. Red Fire Tiger does manage to overtake the second Audi of Stelios, and now he is side by side with said Audi into turn 3. Not enough room for the around the outside, so Red Fire Tiger starting P5 is up into P2. Sassaras is definitely the biggest loser of the lap. He's dropped 5 places. Might have just been a wrong configuration as Oren's fighting where Simon directly. He's inside of him. As what is going on to Sassaras? He's got like no front wing or something? This car seems fine to me, unless he's just using like a wet setup. He was predicting a wet race, but that's physically impossible because the weather is set to dry. Okay. Up ahead, Jaden got past Stelios as well, as Chris is now fighting Stelios down the inside. Side by side, front right to rear, front left to rear right. Chris has to back out before anything gets a bit weird. As Frankie's up into 6th, Sasaras is still in 7th. Very close fighting, so now the lap 3 is done. Naris has got a very healthy lead, which leaves Red Fire Tiger vulnerable to cars ahead as he gets a 120.183 on the board. Fastest lap of the race so far. As it looked like Oren was very close. Ooh, bit of a wobble from Oren there. That might allow Ferdy to pull through. Oren's got no battery, so Ferdy might look down to the inside. He does look to the inside. And into turn 3, the McLaren is past the Alpine. And it's a very cherry-picked move for the McLaren, who returns after a few forgetful seasons, to be fair. As he returns in the McLaren. Oh, so I guess that's all, I guess. There's a blitz in P12. Something might have happened to him, because there's no way he's this slow. Batteryless. Helpless. Do you see him here? I have to scan the entire leaderboard, because it back to there's nothing happening at the front. Just trying to scan. Chris is the closest to anyone else. We've got a bit of battery, so we could potentially see an overtake into the next turn 3. You know, whilst there's a blank space going on, we could talk about a bit about the regulations, try and get accustomed to it. I mean, we have to ignore that because Jaden, around the outside of Red Fire Tiger, it's replacement versus the replaced there, as the old McLaren driver gets past the old Mercedes driver. So behind Oren, side by side with Voizo, around the outside, not even a challenge. And now these two exchange positions yet again. Just trying to cover everything, but it's very difficult. Oh, Chris! Oh, of course I missed the one interesting things that happened. So, Chris, that's not really. I'm not saying that's his fair. What I'm trying to say is, as Voizo gets past Oren, as he does also get a 3-second penalty for that, so the first penalty of the season. What I'm saying is, Chris, very unlucky, got on the curb of death. So he might have been used to potentially the 25 line, where he could basically whack curbs with to no prevail. As, what just happened there? Oh, Frankie in the Cadillac spins. It's like real life, isn't it? Brings a tear to the eye. Is there front wing damage on that Cadillac? I don't see any. So that promotes Blitz up to P11 as Red Fire Tiger reclaims P2 from Jaden, as now that has allowed Stelios to creep back into the fight for P2 here. But now when it comes to next lap, it will be the Ferrari driver who's got no boost mode or blue battery to defend himself with, as he is outside the 1 second range of race leader Naris, who is I assume he's quite chilled about his lead, to be fair. I don't think he's overly stressing, as just focus back onto this little scrap, as it's the closest thing we've got to. But there's more yellow flags. I think that's Voizo. No, that was Will. Oh wow, 2 people spun. Voizo spins, trying to light up the tyres in the pit lane. I think that's the end of his Grand Prix. Yep. Now it becomes the first time of the season. Unlucky. He was showing some pretty decent overtakes. Showing some pretty decent overtakes. As my voice decided to stop working. might as well talk a bit more about the anyway, actually, we might need to focus up here because bit of a bottleneck opening up again as Jaden refuses to overtake Redfire Tiger. He might be playing this strategically because he knows that if he overtakes him and he's unable to get re-overtaken, he's not got blue mode. So here we go. He's not using the blue mode. No one is, to be fair, from the open eye. That was quite close. Will is in the pit lane. Is Will retiring from the race? I don't know, but looking at the gaps, it tells me not a lot of people have got blue mode. So the gap ahead is like getting bigger ever so slightly every single lap. As I think these two getting quite close as well. But so far, from expectations before the season, I think most people could have, going off of the end of last season's form, they could have probably expected that Naris could have given a decent sort of challenge. As we might need to go back to this fight. As alright, there's actually a better fight going on. But the thing of Naris, he had a decent end of last season form. He got a few podiums. I think he even bagged a few wins. He got back-to-back wins in. I think he definitely won in Mexico. I don't know if he won Mexico before or Mexico and after. But he showed pretty impressive form. So now, you know, with potentially a full-time, his first full-time season under his belt, he could actually bring a challenge to JJ as Frankie is in the pit lane in the Cadillac. Hopefully the tyre wear on that Cadillac isn't as bad as in real life. I mean, looking at it, the brakes aren't on fire, so it's not like it's the worst case scenario. Lap 8 of this opening Grand Prix, and so far there have been a few decent fights. There have been a few scraps. There have also been 2 people in the pit lane switching tyres. The action seems to have died down a little. I say that Simon Drakely is inching ever so closer to Chris's rear wing in the Williams. Ferrari versus Williams. It's like the 1980s all over again, as Samuel Drakely gets past with very little resistance from Williams. Pretty feisty little scrap between them two. I think that's been the closest thing we've had to a quote-unquote fight. Now down into turn 1, or before turn 1, he pulls out and he closes back in, and it's overtake for P6. So sadly, the only fight we currently got is for P6 and P7, as Stelios looks to the inside of Jaden's Mercedes, however refuses to overtake. There will be a lot of things like this around tracks where it's like a fluidity of corners, or like, actually, I'll take that back, not fluidity of corners, where it's like all like medium speed. There's not very slow speed corners. You might see a lot of drivers refusing to overtake purely because they might feel like overtaking might be a waste of battery. And with this 50-50 hybrid power split, wasting battery is like a death sentence. I've kind of got 2 viewers on my stream. We begin. Well, Naris will take us to over 1/3 race distance. There's Redfire Tiger. I can't say. I don't want to say I'm surprised, but also don't want to say I'm not surprised. A 3-second penalty for the Ferrari. So here's first stint in recent memory outside of the Mercedes, not going well 50-50. As Simon Drakely in the other Ferrari does overtake the Williams for P7. I feel like there will be a lot of this just overtaking to turn 1, and then overtaking to turn 10, overtaking to turn 1, overtaking to turn 10. I think those two are like the hot spots for overtakes right now, because it's just turn 1. Well, most tracks, turn 1 is the favoured overtaking place. I say most because there is definitely some exceptions. So we will focus on this fight, even though there is one brewing right up ahead. As Chris pulls up alongside Samuel Drake Lee. He is alongside, and he is passed into turns 9 and 10, the fast S. As whilst that happened, Jaden was overtaken by Stelios. The Audi versus the Mercedes. This is turning into quite the feisty fight for P3 on the road, but virtually E2. As actually I haven't realised, this little squabble has allowed Redfire Tiger to run away. As oh well, Will spins. As people are filing into the pit lane. Redfire Tiger, Stelios, and Sasaras are in the pit lane. Very aggressive for the Haas on the pit lane in the pit limiter. These will be the first 3 drivers in pit road, I think, unless Frankie recently changed his tyres. I think Will has got half a front wing, so he will be diving into the pit lane. This might also be the retirement for Mercedes. More yellows, and that's Will again. Anyone guess if there's going to be a third yellow? Anyway, regardless, Samuel Drake Lee using the battery, using the straight mode into turn 9, around the outside and through. The Williams left defenseless yet again. There's even behind Blitz was very close to overtaking Oren. These two also in a fight as Chris re-overtakes Samuel Drake Lee before the corner. This is literally just a case of who doesn't want to be overtaken. A lot of people will find they don't want to be overtaken as Blitz and Oren again fighting. These will be 2 interesting scraps. Blitz tries to do a switchback as we'll quickly focus back onto this fight because this might be a feisty. 2 very quick drivers as Samuel Drake Lee pulls to the inside and overtakes Chris for P2. But virtually that will drop as Naris comes out of the pit lane. Well will he come out as Blitz overtakes Oren with the battery on those hards. Remember, he's the only driver who started on the hards tonight, so he's going for the alternate strategy. So hopefully it works out for him. We'll focus back onto this. I really don't know. Do I focus on this Chris versus Samuel Drake Lee fight, or do I focus on Oren versus Blitz? I think for the time being we focus on Oren, Chris and Samuel Drake Lee. So far, Williams is losing time. So we'll just switch back to this Oren in the Alpine. Obviously the reigning tier 2 champion switches over to the Alpine, switches to the outside and overtakes the V-Carb around the outside. So now he is up into P5, but virtually he will drop because of the people behind him. I mean, he's already got Redfire Tiger within 2 seconds of him. So that'll be it'll be a wolf chasing a sheep. There's Jaden in the pit lane off the medium, so that gives Samuel Drake Lee the net lead. However, that might change immediately as Chris dives to the inside. I say dives, pulls alongside, uses the battery, overtakes. As Oren boxed, so Blitz doesn't have any fear of overs. So I mean, Redfire Tiger overtook fresher tyres. So this will be a very interesting fight to cover because I think these two, based on how long they're driving, are going for the one stop. So this will be a very interesting fight because the more they fight, the more they're screwing each other over. It's fun if they screw each other over because that means more unpredictability. As Samuel Drake Lee, 325 kilometers an hour around the outside, and once again it's that same move we've seen about 20 times already. Around the outside, move completed as the current net P1 and P2 find themselves P3 and P4 as Chris re-overtakes. So it is just literally a case, if you get overtaken there, you don't use battery and then get re-overtaken, so then as Simon Drake Lee picks up a 3-second penalty for track limits. As they are both in the pit lane. Could we see a drag race in the pit lane, or are these two smarter than that? They are smarter than that, as they put the hard on brake. So that's thrown a spanner, because I genuinely thought they might be doing a 1-stop. They might actually be doing a 2-stop. Is Stelios. Well, it's no surprise really. It's tyres from the start versus tyres put on a few laps ago, and the difference is insane. These two will be interesting, and now they're on fresh tyres, so this will be interesting. As Frankie, Simon Drake Lee's friend, but not in the same team, they might get a bit interesting as Simon Drake Lee tries to go around the outside of Chris into turn 3, but does not. But now the 3-second penalty does play a bit into it, because now he knows he needs to push and open a gap in order to secure a position over the driver who's been battling with a lot this race. As Sasaras overtakes Blitz, but like once again I've said, I'm not surprised. It's the difference in tyres. The only overtakes we're really worried about is the overtakes involving position, the ones that actually involve the drivers where they'll finish, because right now Blitz being overtaken basically just means the drivers who pitted before him and the drivers who aren't in his race have overtaken him. Has he got a third viewer? Oh my god, it's amazing. Getting Forge. Here we go. Battery pulls out, pulls alongside, overtake. As we will focus back onto this fight. Sound versus Chris. I can see why Samuel Drake Lee's got a 3-second penalty now, because that was an absolute smash of turn 1. We have, I have completely ignored it, but we have surpassed the halfway stage of the race. Well, of course, when I go off topic, I miss it, but Simon Drake Lee overtakes Chris. So I'm assuming what will happen here is Chris will overtake Simon Drake Lee. No, I am mistaken. So it's a very interesting fight, you know, between these two. Obviously, trying to save up as much battery. I mean, these two. I mean, actually saying that they have just doubled their battery spans in the space of one corner, so that's impressive. So here we go. Simon Drake Lee not even burning. Chris burns a little bit. They both lift before turn 1, so there won't be an overtake. Frankie in the pit lane again. I think that is for his second stop. Well, I think he's just racing for pride now. He's accepted he's not going to challenge near the front. As actually Sasaras over side by side with his GFO compatriot. However, that makes no difference as I go back to this. Chris around the outside of Samuel Drake Lee, uses the battery, and now it's back to square one between these two. As a little bit of a gap has actually opened up between these two. It's very hard because there's two gap fights going on. And I want to spectate them both, but I can't because I'm only one person. So I think they have caught up to Blitz a little bit. So, oh, Blitz. Oh, what happened to Blitz? Blitz has got puncture. Did Blitz seriously? No, I don't. Surely it's. He actually got a puncture, I think. Oh, a bit unlucky. But that, I guess, pretty decent timing, to be fair. It would have been very painful if his puncture came anywhere after the pit lane. Now Stelios and Sasaras. before he's even going across the stream. Oh no, it is. Is it? How loud is it? Let's off. Hang on. 1, 2, 1, 2. Who cares? As Sam directly overtakes Chris, and I'm assuming it's going to happen the exact same here. Gaining, 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 lifting. So we go back to this fight between the two Greeks. One in the Haas, one in the Audi. Things are going to get rowdy. I don't think there'll be an overtaking to turn 1. But with Chris, there might be one. Down the inside, he will go. P6 for the Williams. And now he's got 4.3 seconds to the car ahead of Jaden. So lap 18, around 10 laps, 10, 11, 12 laps to go. Your current race standings are as follows. You've got Naris in P1, you've got Red Fire Tiger in P2, who's very close to getting another warning, if you might have just got another warning. There's a Sasaras in P3, with Stelios up his behind in P4, like a leech. There was a yellow that I'm assuming might a bit of a tank slapper for the Cadillac. I'm just going to go back to this fight as Simon Drake Lee, little battery, super clipping, around the outside. Nice move. As between these two, there's Nish. Here we go. Copy and paste. And re-enter. Chris is back up to P6. We would be down into P7 by turn 9. And we'll be back up to P6 by the next lap. Don't you worry, I've read this entire race like a book. Let me actually just check, because I feel I know what might be causing the stream to be a little bit quiet. I swear to God, if I missed something doing this, audio and other settings, microphone. I mean, I have missed some as Will gets a 3-second penalty as Stelios overtakes Tassaras for P3. As Simon Drake Lee doesn't want to overtake Chris, so he might just be playing the battery game here again. He's got 68% battery compared to Chris's 73. That's gonna lead to an overtake, as the gap between Sasaras and Stelios has fallen a little bit. I can't. Let's do a bit of a tyre check, because I don't think we've done that. Yeah, I think everyone apart from Will's gonna have to box again. No, other way around. Everyone but Will is gonna have to box again. I don't know why I couldn't get my words out, but let's just get the graphic out. Let's just go to penalties. Yeah, that's not really a surprise though, is it? Like, I mean, Red got a 3-second quite early on, then Sam got one for a bit of a, I understand why he got one. Chris got a little bit of a tank slapper there, but no penalty, as Will got a 3-second, but here we are, on board. Chris, down the inside. Not even a challenge, as he's up into P6. These two, by the end of the race, they're going to hate to see each other's rear wings, because they've seen them so much. Just check how loud is my stream. Is that any better? Oh, Christ, that's loud. Back into the flow of the race. Here we go. Sasaras, Stelios down back into P4 as it's just the yo-yoing motion. Chris gets the fastest lap of the race as he pulls a second to Samuel Drake Lee, well, pulled a second at one point, is now it might allow Jaden to pull along. Oh, Sasaras, bit of a mistake into out of turn 3. Now Jaden is within a second of those two. This could be a free-weight fight for the podium. But we might need to check back here because that's now down to half a second again. But we will go back up here because I think this is a more important fight. This is a fight that's worth more overall. Yes, it's round 1, but it's still kind of decides championship position, all that. Like, who's more favourably looked at in the championship. Stelios, 60% battery to Sasaras' blue 30. Oh, I can't say I'm surprised there again because these two have been switching positions a lot, but I have missed it because I was focusing on the fight for P3. But I will focus back onto this one unless a drastic time change happens in the other one because I am paying attention to both. There is happening. Yep, here we go. Stelios down the inside. I'm not surprised. It's just the same copy and paste move happening everywhere. Will there be a copy and paste move going here? As Will gets another 3-second penalty, but I think he's fighting for Nish, so it's not like it's going to matter. Even if he was, he has already been lapped by a Red Fire Tiger, so he becomes the first lapped driver of the race. As Chris rear overtakes Samuel Drake Lee. Like, it just keeps happening. Jaden overtakes Sasaras as Blitz is left, so I might need to send him an invite. No, wrong button. Yep. Did I miss anything? I don't think I did. Samuel Drake Lee 7/10, but I think lap 23, so there is 7 more laps to go. And so far, Naris has run away with it. An 8-second gap, which will turn into 11 seconds, which I think is a big margin for the opening race of the season. He has definitely acclimatized to this new reg change perfectly. As I think Will is about to be lapped by another set of drivers. Tell you what, this fight could get ever so close because we've got Stelios, Jaden and Sasaras fighting, and only 3 seconds behind them you've got Chris and Samuel Drake Lee, so this could get a very interesting fight as Jaden now might look to the inside. He won't because he's way too far back. What am I talking about? As Blitz got overtaken by Frankie, so the AI working its magic as per. Got a decent little train going on here. Here we go, Jaden. His time to attack Stelios down the inside of turn 1. He's unable to make the move done, so he's going to try and drag the move. The opportunity to overtake down into turn 3. 25% blue versus 40 yellow. So this is now becoming quite interesting because this is the fight for P3 because Red Fire Tiger has pulled within 6 seconds away from Stelios, so he is safe for now as Will picks up another 3-second penalty for track limits. So I guess that happens as we'll see here. This is the fight that really matters right now. Jaden versus Stelios, 0% battery versus essentially 0 as Blitz overtakes Frankie. So what's happened here? We have just stemmed away from the actual objective. Yellows, that's Will. Am I surprised? Here we go. I'd love to watch the fight between Chris and Sam, but I really have to focus on the one that's worth more. So if I do miss anything out of that, I will be kicking myself. But then again, it's not like I've got control over it. Samuel Drake Lee is outside of a second of Chris. So, like, it's not like DRS is in this game anymore. Where, like, it's boost mode, so it's essentially as powerful in this sort of situation. Half a second separates third and fourth. As a bit of Lyco being performed by the Audi. That is allowing Chris to creep ever so closer. And in the closing phases of this race, this could allow Chris to become a dark horse. Obviously, I said this at the start of qualifying, or during the midpoint of qualifying. He was fastest at Madrid at one point before the patch where the sausage curves we had. As Jaden looked to the inside of turn 9 and 10, but does not go for the move. He might wait for it now, or he might wait for the main straight as Naris in a 10-second lead, as though Jaden goes a bit wide, so that might have compromised his attempt a little bit. Naris begins the 27th. No, he just begun the 26th lap. What am I talking about? Here we go. The fight for the marbles. Jaden getting a bit close to Stelios. Sastras getting very close to Jaden, so that could have been a double-edged sword. Jaden into turn 3, looks to the inside, but is not far enough alongside to complete the move. Sorry, have I just seen that right? Spurs have agreed to him. Okay, I'm not even going to question it. This is an F1 stream. Oh, well, here we go then. Chris has pulled away from Samuel Drake Lee, so Chris is now beat Hours of May in the fight for the podium. I think we're very used to seeing people with 0% battery. As Frankie has spun on the main straight, I don't think that can bring a safety car out anymore. However, he's getting ever closer to being lapped. So Sasaras within a tenth of Jaden, but he goes lift and coast mode. Jaden to the inside of turn 1, overtakes the Audi. They are side by side. This is the fight we've been waiting for. Jaden gets pushed on the grass a little bit, and that allows Sasaras to go through. Bit of Lyco here from Stelios. That's a bit rash, so things imploded for a second as that allows Sasaras to go back into P4. Stelios with a bit of Lyco, push Jaden onto the grass, side by side through turn 4. Here we go. This has gotten tasty. Here we go. 64% battery, similar batteries, but Jaden has the boost mode, which quote unquote is a higher battery like allowance, but it's already gone. This is how powerful the battery is, or how like unstable it might be by some people's standards. It's Chris is lurking in the background. He is waiting for the opportunity to pounce. He shows the Haas. He is there. He will be fighting if it does come to it, as Naris begins the penultimate lap. So here we go. These drivers have got to give it their all, or they'll end up with nothing. Here, right now, it's Sasaras side by side with Chris. Chris around the outside of Sasaras. These two are neck and neck down the start finish. It's like Dunn and Stenshorn in the F2 feature race. Oh, bitter contact. And that's Chris. That will not be Chris being very happy. As Frankie got a 10-second. I think he did that to avoid interfering with the fight. Chris to the inside, 4P5. Slams the door, does not allow for any interference. That allows Samuel Drake Lee to get back into the fight. However, his 3-second penalty will mean he will have to really push. So by some miracle, there is a chance, but it's a miracle for him to get a podium, as Will gets the fastest lap of the race. You know what? If he does leave with anything, he's got his head high. So here we go, Jaden, 16% battery. We'll look to the inside of turn 9. He gets side by side, but he's able to do anything. That opens a 1.2 second gap too. So here we go here. This has really opened up. This is really the fight for the podium here. Chris and Sasaras have really kicked themselves in the feet here. Their little fight has caused them to drop away as I say that, they're back within a second now. So I should really learn to not acknowledge my scenarios before I speak. As Naris, 13-second gap ahead. He is, well, to put it blatantly, fucked off. Here we go, final lap. If any of these drivers get a penalty, it will be essentially game over. Jaden, bit of a slide. Those rear tyres must be dying. So, here we go. I think Stelios is here playing the lift and coast game. He will hold up these drivers through this specific little section of track around the car park. I think... Here we go. This will be it. Who will win? This basically, I think, if I'm not wrong, this may decide who will stand on the podium. However, I may also be wrong because Jaden's battery has essentially diminished itself in the space of 20 seconds. Here we go. Will they be brave? They won't into here. Will they be brave into the other into the final penultimate hard braking zone? Jaden's got 0. He's basically burning nothing. Chris to the inside. What's he going to do here? Has to go a bit long in order to not fuck himself. Naris crossed the line. I didn't really notice. He wins the Australian Grand Prix. Chris to the inside of Jaden. The penultimate corner. Chris around the outside of Jaden. He's up into P4. And here we go. That's left. Red Fire Tiger in second. Stelios in third. Chris in fourth. Jaden fifth. And 17 seconds. What a margin for the Audi, who starts off the season in the best fashion possible. As that was a very interesting fight. That was I like that fight, you know. As I'll quickly file myself into the chamber of interviewing so I can actually give some half-decent interviews if they want to come along and do some interviews. Interviews, join voice. Xbox. Okay, so I'm now in the interviewing booth. Well, there's your podium. Then it's an Audi 1-3 with Red Fire Tiger in second. Well, let me just go into the box. let's just go into the showroom. Either way, I'm gonna start interviewing with an Audi, because if it's front to back or back to front. Here we go. Am I not? Did I not join the interview thing? Oh, join interview voice. Am I in the interview voice? Let's just. This is all. Wait, what the bloody hell is going on? Transfer to Xbox. I am in interview box. Transfer to Xbox. Transfer voice. Do you want to work now? There we go. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, well, are they joining the? I don't think there'll be a. Hang on. Before you start speaking, Red, let me just confirm, because I had to do a bunch of like Frankenstein stuff to have Discord audio on my Twitch stream. Can you speak? No, it's not showing up on my stream because obviously Twitch doesn't like me. Well, Xbox is. Oh wait, party order. Speak now. I need to do the Macintosh thing. Let me just leave and rejoin. Sorry to keep you guys waiting. It's my first time trying to do all this. Right. Transfer to Xbox. Okay. Can you guys hear me? Let's just check. Can the Twitch stream hear me? Say something, please. It's not working, bro. Oh, okay. I'll just do the interviews here for the experience, even though it doesn't even work. So here we are. Interviews, round one of. I'll start with Vnaris because he won. First of all, poll. Well done, obviously. First of all, I can't remember the full margin, but the grid was separated by like 1.5 seconds, and you led the whatever your clan GFO is 1, 2, 3. So I think that must be like an achievement. Are you all like in a call or something together? Yeah. Yeah. And a second thing. This is the thing I was talking about. 17 seconds. How'd you do it? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the managing was good, yeah. Even without you say you weren't pushing to the limit, you still managed to increase the gap to a very good margin. Obviously, it did obviously help that the people in second and third, and like up to like seven. I think to the point it was like second to seventh was its own little DRS train. Wait, that's a lie. Third to seventh. Uh, so obviously that also helped a lot. You not having to engage in any fighting, but also I noticed your start, but like go because I was on your onboard and I was looking backwards. By the time you were at turn one, the people just barely cross the like pit exit. So you know the start must have obviously played a factor because you weren't affected by people going side by side with you. And one more thing, I think these are just things that happened because of your race win. But first of all, your first time leading the championship, so congratulations. Secondly, uh, Audi's first win, Audi's first podium, and Audi's first double podium, thanks to you and Stelios. So obviously that's a lot in itself. Obviously, most of those things happen from you and obviously teamwork. So well done on that factor. You've got your own little piece of EXFL history. Okay. You are now free to go as I do the mock interview for Fire. So, Fire. Uh, okay. Yeah, it's fine. So, okay. Now I move on to Fire. So, you qualified P5, right? Fire. Uh, Run me through your lap, because as I've said, I've forgotten the margins. Like, did you feel confident in your lap, or like, was it just it happens? But hey, think about it. Your Red Fire Tiger looked in setting. You didn't lag out. Uh, but then the 3 second, were you like after that 3 second? Did you change the way you were driving? Did you start like not going over curbs as aggressively, or was it just sake of driving? Where was this? What was it? The one? What was it? Your Yeah. Okay. And then, what else? I mean, the 3 second clearly didn't seem to affect you that much because you did end up pulling away from the Audi of Stelios in the end. So, you know, even if you did say, like, if you did appeal your 3 second penalty, all that's going to do is change the time difference between you and Naris and not, you know, that's all that's going to happen. So you're in P2, in Ferrari, obviously. How can I forget? Obviously, you know, probably a massive achievement. Obviously, you are obviously trying to cosplay as Lewis Hamilton here. Great achievement, P2. I think, hopefully, I know how quick you are. You can probably challenge. I mean, I say challenge after this race. It might just be a case of trying to be second to Max Verstappen in 2023. But, you know, anything is possible, really. These regs, they've proven how unpredictable stuff can be with the battery and stuff. So, yeah. Naris, do you have any questions for Ed? Okay, so that was the EXFL Tier 1 Season 14 Australian Grand Prix, won by Vnaris by a whopping 17.8 seconds, with Red Fire Tiger in second and Stelios to round out the podium. I have been your commentator.